All right, shalom to the hopeful elect. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kohalo Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honor, always, the Miyad, to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are the true teachers of Israel today. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Habayath, Madabada, the house of David, the brothers laboring day in and day out on the four corners of the earth, making their calling of election sure, helping seal the elect of the nation of Israel for the return of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua is at hand, and to the Akim and Akwath, the brothers and sisters who listen and believe on the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. To you I say shalom. So shalom to the hopeful elect. Back at it again with another lesson through the Spirit. Before I start this lesson, I want to start in the book of Job, the 10th chapter and the 20th verse, and it reads, "Are not my days few? Cease then, and let me alone, that I may take comfort a little while. Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where there is no, and where the light is as darkness." So this land that Job was speaking about, he was speaking about in this chapter, rather dying than to continue forward to go forth to this earth. And in these last days, Esau Edom has a stranglehold over the earth and has infected the earth with nothing but wickedness. It's poured out nothing but wickedness on the earth. So this land that Job was referring to can be attributed to Babylon the Great, which is America today. And we're going to see why here in a second when I get these articles going. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying through the Rakak Wadash, which is the Holy Spirit. Once again, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This won't be a long lesson. This will be a quick meal through the Spirit. I just want to touch on a few things. And this is from the Daily Citizen. That's a publication, April 18th, 2022. It says, "Parents sue Massachusetts school." It says, "For encouraging concealing children's sexual identity struggles." So now we're going to touch on that today. I got a few articles. Now, Job said that this place that he would go to, he would come forth into the earth, would be a land of darkness as darkness itself, right? Where there would be no light. There would be no light in this place. So now let's continue on. It says, "Parents in Massachusetts are suing officials at their children's middle school, as well as the school districts, for concealing their children's struggles with accepting their sexual identity, and for ignoring parents' clear warnings to the school that mental health professionals were already involved and school officials should steer clear." The lawsuit, brought on behalf of the parents by lawyers with the Child and Parental Rights Campaign and the Massachusetts Family Institute, an ally of Focus on the Family, alleges schools officials at Bayard Middle School in Ludlow, Massachusetts, not only actively concealed information from the parents, but encouraged the children to accept gender identities that conflicted with their biological sex. The school went so far as to offer the children, including an 11-year-old girl, the use of whatever restroom, boys or girls, they desired. The fact, as alleged in the parents' lawsuit, offer a chilling view into a pattern of disregard of parental rights. For example, the parents say that the teachers and counselors continuously spoke to and encouraged the children involved to use different names and pronouns at school, despite the parents' specific instructions not to. The school even suspended and later fired a teacher who contacted the parents to inform them their 11-year-old daughter was experiencing depression, asserting, it says, a discordant gender identity and requesting to use an assumed male name. The teacher was told she had violated district policy. In a nutshell, the parents' legal complaint reads, defendants have intentionally and purposefully driven a wedge between plaintiffs and their children. It says foster distrust of parents, planted seeds of doubt that the parents can appropriately care for their children and keep them safe, and otherwise, it says imperably harm the parent-child relationship. A second set of parents named as plaintiffs in the suit are worried that the school's secrecy policy has deliberately hindered them from asserting whether their children are being secretly counseled about and affirmed in discordant gender identities without their knowledge or consent. Those parents also concerned the school and the school district are violating the family's free exercise of religion by contradicting the biblical view that the Most High or God created us as either male or female and are attempting to coerce their children into supplanting their parents' views with the government's. In a response to an email containing parental concerns about the school's policy that was read aloud at a public meeting of the school committee, a prepared response from the district superintendent said the parental concerns amounted to intolerance of the nasty people. It says, thinly veiled behind a camouflage of parental rights. The superintendent also remarked that schools are the only safe places or safe spaces for children, for their homes and loving parents, and vowed to continue ignoring parental wishes when it came to the subject of young students' sexual identity confusion. He allegedly labeled parental concerns about their children, it says, prejudice and bigotry. So now, this is a story going into Massachusetts just recently with this big lawsuit that's going on. And I kind of wanted to touch on it on my new page here, the hopeful elected one, which I might also do this lesson on my normal page. But I just wanted to do a quick live lesson. So through the Spirit, we see that there, right? Now, this is also what's going on. Check this out. Now, this is from the Washington Post. All right, and it's dated April the 18th, 2022. And you see the title, it says the university to pay $400,000 to a professor who refused to use students' preferred pronouns. And we're going to get into this whole thing with pronouns. Matter of fact, I'll just jump into it. So we read in the first article how, the students were encouraged and coerced, and these are middle school students that are being coerced and encouraged to take on these pronouns, which when you look up what a pronoun truly is in its original sense, a pronoun is also a word, right? It's also a word that replaces a noun. A noun we know is a person, a place, and a thing. So a pronoun is something that can be put in place of a noun. It also goes on to say a word that can function by itself as a noun. And some examples is the word I, you, she, it, this, they. These are examples. So for example, if I was saying Jonathan, making reference to a person, Jonathan is on vacation, the pronoun would be he, speaking of Jonathan, is on vacation, which is clear English and things that we learn in grammar. Now, this is what pronouns are pertaining to the nasty community, right? The alphabet community. So the alphabet community, the alternative people, I'll call them, their definition of a pronoun is a person understanding and experiencing, a person's understanding and experience of their own gender, regardless of birth identity. There is no one authority that dictates the gender. It says there's no one authority that dictates the gender, of another, except the individual. The freedom of expression, and it goes on to say, basically, the freedom of choice. So now we see what truly something is being turned upside down, right? So let's get a few examples in the scriptures of why this is completely, completely wicked. And while this place is that land that Job said is a land of darkness, is darkness itself. Right? There's no light in this land. There's no truth. This is Isaiah 29:16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? So who can go and say that there's no authority for what a man and a woman is, for what a male and a female is? You know, can the thing created say of the Most High, basically, that you created me wrong, or you didn't create me in a proper likeness? It says, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? So this the turning of things upside down that we see going on here in America, Babylon the Great, which is Babylon who's pushed her philosophies, her wine, unto the whole earth, and the whole earth being drunken by her wine. Let's get another example. This is the book of Psalm 82:5. It says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness, as Job said. It's that land of darkness, is darkness itself. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So the whole earth is turned upside down. Everything is out of course. You know, there's nothing righteous about this land of Babylon. There's nothing righteous about the laws. There's nothing righteous about the people. There's nothing righteous, you know, about the way, you know, that life is conducted. With Babylon being at the forefront, Esau, Edom, Job 9:24, the earth being given into the hand of the wicked. So this land is completely wicked, completely upside down, completely backwards. You know, which is, we saw that in the two articles starting the lesson. Now, the men of the Lord's job is to come out and to show that and to condemn Babylon, as it says in the scriptures that the men of the Lord will be doing. Now, I got a precept that popped up through the Spirit. See if I can get it real quick. This goes into Babylon being condemned. Babylon is being condemned by the men of the Lord, the servants of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, right? So this is 2nd Ezra 12, and I'll go right to the point in verse 31. This is showing the condemnation of Babylon in the last days, right? 2nd Ezra 12 and verse 31, and it reads, and the lion, it says, whom thou sawest rising up out of the wood, and roaring and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness with all the words which thou hast heard. That lion is speaking of, you know, symbolic of the children of Israel, being like that lion rising up out of the woods being amongst the people on the earth. Yahweh Shah said, you know, in the parable of the tares, that the earth, that the field is the world. So the woods is amongst all the trees, which are the people. So this is metaphoric speech. And so it says, in the lion, speaking of Israel, whom thou sawest rising up out of the woods, you see, pertaining to the 37th chapter of Ezekiel, you know, this is the valley of the dry bones. The dry bones are coming together. You know, the servants of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua are returning unto their power. It says, and roaring, that roaring is the men of the Lord, you know, out on the four corners of earth, you know, speaking against the eagle, which is who? Esau, Edom, when you read in Obadiah, right? Obadiah, the first chapter, which is only one chapter actually. So Obadiah tells you that in the first 5 verses. It says, in speaking to the eagle and rebuking her, she's being rebuked for what? For all of the wickedness and filthiness. Being rebuked for this. Better yet, being rebuked for this. For pushing this, you know, on the four corners of the earth. For indoctrinating the earth in wickedness. So this is the rebuking that's going on. Now, let's go back to Lakia and show that further. 2nd Ezra 12 and back at verse 31, it says, in rebuking her for her unrighteousness, which is all the wickedness that she pushes, Babylon the Great, with all the words which thou hast heard. And we're hearing the speech of the wicked, right? We're hearing the lies. We're hearing, you know, that poisonous, you know, the poisonous venom, you know, that's underneath the lips of the wicked. Each and every day, all the things that they promote. Now, I have another precept that came to mind through the Spirit. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So Job says the land of darkness is darkness itself, right? So let's get another one. Once again, this video won't be too long. This is the book of Psalm 94, going into that wickedness, going into the evil who's ruling. Now, I'm going to hit two precepts real quick. This is the book of Psalm 94. In verse 16, it says, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?" Now, who are the workers of iniquity? Let's go down to verse 20. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity, which is the rulership of the wicked," once again, the earth is being given into the hand of the wicked, Job 9:24, right? So Esau is that throne, the rulership of iniquity, of sin, of evil doing. "Have fellowship with thee." Should we have fellowship with Esau, right? "Though hand be joined in hand, the wicked will not go unpunished." So the answer to that is an emphatic no. "Which frameth mischief by a law." So all the laws, it's mischief, it's all lies, it's all wickedness, it's all to continue our people in perpetual sin. Let's show that further. Isaiah 10:1, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." So Babylon is she that decrees unrighteous decrees, the laws, right? It says, "In their right grievousness which they have prescribed, all of her laws are wicked and grievous, to turn aside the needy from judgment." This is referring to the children of Israel, "and to take away the right from the poor of my people." And that's the elect, the hopeful elect from the four corners of the earth. "That widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless." The fatherless is speaking of you tribes, you 12 tribes of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So we're getting into how it's nothing but wickedness. The earth is completely submerged in wickedness. And that Babylon is the center, is the nucleus, the epicenter, if you will, of wickedness on the planet. And let's further show that with a few more precepts before we close out. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. And we'll go right to the point. We'll go right to the 6th verse. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 6. And it reads, "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." So all this, the things that was prophesied, that the earth, how the earth will be in the last days, the Lord said in Revelation, the 18th chapter, that the Lord has, her sins have reached unto heaven. Speaking of Babylon, the Most High have remembered her iniquities. So that shows this precept here, 2nd Ezra 15 and 6, that this has come to pass. "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth in the days we are in now, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." All that's been prophesied before has come to pass now, right? All of the wickedness of Babylon, all of the ill doings, all of the injuries and riches gotten by deceit, as it says in Sirach, the 10th chapter, all of those things have been fulfilled, have come to pass, right? Which is why we are in the end, the last days, and we're at the end of the last of the end time prophecies. Let's see if we can get a few more before I close it out. Let's show that further. The wickedness, once again, hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. So when you go back, here's an example. When you go back to, matter of fact, let me get this first. So when you go into all this confusion about pronouns, when you put in male and female in the blue letter in the search, in the search box, it comes up 94 times. Now it says, when you put in male and female, Genesis 1 and 27 says, "So God, the Most High," or so the powers, "created man in his own image. In the image of the powers created he him. Male and female created he them." So in the beginning of creation, there was what? Men, male and female. Now when you look up the alphabet communities, explanation for this, the alternative people, they say that, there's dozens, if not close to 100 designations and genders, which is all confusion. Genesis 5 and 2, "Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created." Going into the righteous line there in Genesis, the 5th chapter. Let's get a few more. Genesis 6 and 19, "And every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort, shalt thou bring into the ark." Speaking of the time of Noah, it says, "To keep them alive with thee, they shall be male and female," right? That's going into the time of Noah. "Even the animals, So now there's much confusion with that on the earth now, but clearly we see throughout the Bible, the Lord speaks about things being male and female. No confusion. The scriptures say that the Lord is not the author of confusion. Genesis 7:16, and they went in male and female of all flesh, as the Most High commanded him. And the Lord Yahweh shut him in. Right? Now, those are a few examples. Just wanted to get real quick. So I'm going to do a part 2 of this. Just wanted to do a quick little test run through the Spirit, Power Yahweh Shem. So I'm going to put it on my other page, which I'm much more active on, which is, my Sakallah Barakim, my Peculiar Blessings page. So, Lord willing, this is edifying for whoever reviews the lesson. I want to give all praises, infinite honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakak Badash, double honor, as always, to Yah, to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are the true teachers of Israel today, and have labored faithfully in His truth, peace, love, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Habayath, Madawadah, the house of David. The brothers laboring day in and day out to make the call of election sure, help us seal the elect of the nation of Israel, for the return of our Lord and Mashiach Yahushai is at hand, and to the Akim and Akwafim, which are the brothers and sisters that listen and believe on the glorious gospel of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. To you I say shalom, so shalom to the hopeful elect.